What are Ian's biggest pet peeves at work, and what are Pat's biggest pet peeves at the flea market?
Okay. Some of my biggest it's obvious when you have, it's not just people pricing stuff off eBay. That's a little easy. I think it's people that not only price things off of eBay prices that could be high, but they don't realize the market on eBay versus what they're selling. So it's one thing to price off eBay if they're trying to sell Super Mario Kart. It's another thing to price off eBay if you're selling like a Sega Saturn game that no one wants.
Right.
Or a Odyssey 100 Pong system that no one wants. eBay is the entire world is your potential buying audience. Flea market, it's those 1,000 people that show up that day. That's it. Then it's done. So you have to price accordingly. Especially if it's still there. Especially if it's a fucking 2,600 in games that have been sitting out literally for 10 months and no one still is buying them. Then you have to rethink how you're pricing stuff. That's a pet peeve. Another pet peeve, I think, I don't know. I know people want to show off. Hell, I show off stuff that I found at the swap meet. But don't think you put one over on me if you found something you got to deal. I want to be happy you found something. That's why I'm there too. To me, it's more about the collective experience. I don't know. Unless you're a dirty sort of Wario reseller, then all right, I don't want you to find anything. But most of all, though, I'm happy you got something. You know, don't feel like I got something. It's not always. I mean, of course, it's a competition, but everyone can't always find everything themselves and can't always buy everything themselves. So that's really pet peeves. But I don't know. It's just stuff that bothers me a lot. You know, just don't price those freaking 1987 DOS games thinking they're worth a ton of money just because they're sealed. No one wants them.
Right.
Trust me, if I'm saying to you, and I've bought from you before, this is usually how it works for this stuff. Don't always think I'm trying to take you for a ride. Because a lot of times, most of the time, all the time, I'm really not. Because a lot of times I'm telling you a price of something, I don't want it myself. And I'm being honest about the price. Or how quickly you can sell it. So anyway.
I can list off 3 real quick, and I'm also not going. I'm not going to go with obvious ones because those aren't pet peeves. Pet peeves to me are like things that really get under your skin and just annoy you. I mean, people asking for discounts outright is not. That's not what I'm thinking of. So, for me, one, the first 2 are trade-in related. When people bring their shit in and it's completely an unorganized mess. When it literally comes in a trash bag and I have to unknot cords for 5-6 minutes before I even get to test your system. I mean, some of these people are coming straight from storage units with Rubbermaid bins, but I just feel like it's only polite and it's only going to help these people get out of there quicker to open it up. You take the 6 to 10 minutes at home to tie up these fucking cords and at least bring it in some sort of shape where I can easily pull out what you have and assess it. Now, obviously, if you're bringing in a massive trade-in, you're unloading an entire collection, I understand a little disorganization, but if you're trading me a PS2 and 15 games and 3 controllers and, an NES, it all fits in a box, take the minute to organize it. The second one is related to that when people call up and, they ask if we take X, Y, or Z system. And I say yes. And it's always like it needs to have its controller, its power cord, its video cord. I have to test it out. And it needs to be in good cosmetic shape. I make it very clear that it has to be in good cosmetic shape. And people come in all the time with PS2s that are missing their front face plates or they've got like dings and cracks on them. Xbox 360 controllers that have the rubbers ripped right off of them. And I'm like, I can't take this. And they're like, well, why not? It still works. And I look at them and I go, would you buy this?
Can you give him a discount rate?
So, well, no. I mean, a lot of this stuff doesn't even have parts that we can use. Like if someone brought me an NES and it was totally fucking destroyed, I'd probably still buy it for the tray and maybe the pin connector if the pin connector seemed decent, just because those are 2 salvageable parts, and I do need the trays a lot. And then my last pet peeve, and this is a real fucking big one, is when people in the store act like they work there. It's one thing if someone's at the counter, I'm at the counter, and somehow it comes up that they really like Fallout 3. And I'm talking about liking Fallout 3. And someone else at the store who's walking around wants to just chat. And they jump in. They're like, yeah, I like Fallout 3 too. It's one thing to have a discussion. It's a completely different thing when people are asking me about like prices on games or differences between systems, and every time I open my mouth, someone else fucking jumps in and has the answer. And it happens way more than you'd think. And I don't like to do it, but I turn and I always have to look at these people and go, let me do my job, please. You don't work here. Because there are people who do that, and it's all the time. And every time this person asks me a question, I can't get the answer out, or I get the answer out and the other person starts talking over me. And the reason it's bad is...
Sorry, Ian.
These people are annoying who are doing it, and the person who's at the counter doesn't necessarily know that this person who's just out on the floor, especially if they're not holding a game or something in their hands, they don't know that necessarily this person doesn't work there, which makes us look bad if they're annoying this customer, like constantly talking over. They think we're just these fucking jokers, which is another reason why I have to say, please let me do my job, because I have to make sure that the person I'm talking to knows that I'm the one who works here and is trying to give them service, and that this person's just being rude and won't shut up. And that would be like probably my current biggest one.
How often does that happen?
All the fucking time. All the fucking
Well, you're
time.
so likable and people want to be around you, I guess. That's how it is.
I don't. That's not it. It's just like, I understand these people want to socialize, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't care if you socialize. If we're talking about a game you like, jump right on in, but don't get between me and a customer when we're discussing business.